Okay, so I want to tell a little story about this guy that used to live in my neighborhood. Now, I didn't know this guy at all. I didn't even know his fucking name. I still don't. But he was basically this convicted sex offender, rapist that lived down the block from me, around the corner. And when we moved into Dix Hills in 1993, my mom found out about this guy. I guess she asked about the neighborhood sex offenders. She called the police and, they told her yeah, this guy lives here, this guy lives there, whatever. Because I was 9 and my brother was 5. So she just wanted to be careful. So when we were driving around the neighborhood, when she finally saw him, she pointed him out. And he was this Jeffrey Dahmer looking guy. He actually looked a lot like Dahmer, believe it or not. He had blonde hair, similar hairstyle to Jeffrey Dahmer, same type of thick-ass serial killer glasses. And since, there's a lot of things that sex offenders are not allowed to do when they get released, including not owning a vehicle. That happens a lot, especially if your crimes involve forcing victims into cars. They won't let you drive legally. So he was just riding around the neighborhood on this little bicycle. It was basically a kid's bike. It was just big enough for a grown man to ride. And he would just aimlessly ride around the neighborhood, hour after hour, day after day, year after year. And of course, I never approached this guy and talked to him because he looked kind of scary. They say well, no one looks like a sex offender. Oh, this guy did. Even if no one told me anything, I probably would have still thought, oh shit, he looks like a pedophile, bro. Look at his mustache. Yeah, he's a sex offender for sure. And if I was old enough and smart enough to realize this, it's Long Island, right? Almost everyone owns a car. And especially in Dix Hills. Dix Hills is a pretty rich town. So if you could afford to buy a house or even pay rent in Dix Hills, you could afford a vehicle, even if it's a cheap one. Everyone in Dix Hills drives. So you see some 40-year-old man riding a bicycle every day in Dix Hills, he's probably a fucking pedo. His driving privilege is taken away. But yeah, I would see this guy for years and years, and he never fucking smiled. He always looked miserable, as you would expect. I didn't know exactly what he did. My mom wasn't sure. She didn't get any details about his crimes. She knew, though, that it wasn't children. His victims were adult women or whatever. So, not a child rapist, at least, but he was a rapist. And, like I said, he never really bothered anybody. I never heard anything. He just kept to himself, rode his little bike. And, I saw him hundreds of times over the years. And fast forward to about 2004, right? So I've been seeing this guy now for about 9 years, give or take. And I decided to take a little walk down to the service road. And I stand on the bridge to the LIE just to watch the traffic go by. And these weird little things I like to do. And it's funny, if you stand on a bridge like that, all the fucking cars start slowing down and looking at you like you're gonna jump. Bro, I'm not standing on the railing. I'm just fucking standing on the bridge looking at the LIE. And they're looking at me. I could see people's eyes. No, what are you doing? No, why are you on the bridge? Oh my God, you serious? And then as I'm standing there looking at the traffic, I hear this huge crash behind me. Boom! And I knew it was a car crash, of course. And I go running to see what happened. And this minivan, right, was going south on Carl Straight Path. This was the Carl Straight Path Bridge on the LIE. Carl Straight Path and South Service Road. And this asshole in a pickup truck ran the red light at Carl Straight Path and slammed into the side of this minivan and T-boned it. Everyone was fine. There weren't even any injuries. Pickup truck didn't have a scratch, even though the van was totally fucking totaled. But my point is that I'm standing there watching this accident scene, And who comes up but Mr. Rapist on his bicycle? This was in 9 years, this was the closest I'd ever been to this guy. I'd never heard him talk. I like nothing. No actual human interaction with him. I didn't actually talk to him this time either. But, like the cops were there. And I'm also 19 years old at this point. Like, I don't think this guy's going to rape me. I think his choice was, victim of choice is grown women. I'm good. But the cops are there, and, I'm mingling among the cops and other onlookers and this guy. And one of the cops there was this female officer who was actually the first cop to ever pull me over. She had pulled me over back in 2001. I'd had my license a week at this point, December 2001. She pulled me over on the service road when I was doing about 95 miles an hour. And I thought I was screwed, like I was going to lose my license before I barely had it. And she was really nice. She came to a traffic court. She didn't try to, fuck me over or get me in trouble. In fact, I could tell from the way she was talking on the stand, she was trying to help me and get me in the least trouble she could. I got out of this without losing my license, amazingly. I don't remember how that happened. But anyways, I'm standing there next to this cop that pulled me over once, and the rapist. And then the rapist starts talking to the cop. Now, you could tell that she knew him because the cops, they know all the sex offenders in the neighborhood. They got a dossier of them. They got the pictures up in the squad room at the precinct. And, they're briefed on who these guys are and where they live. And if you see them in this place or that place where they're not supposed to be, pull over and question them. And like I said, this guy was a fixture in the neighborhood forever. He might have been there even longer than 9 years. He could have been there 20 years. 9 is all I knew. And all of a sudden he goes, hey officer, am I allowed to hang out at Candlewood? The middle school down the block. This is where I went to middle school. And you could see this cop with the look on her face. If looks could kill. Because, again, she already knew who he was. And the fact he had the balls to ask her this to her face. And I'm thinking, wow, this dude's got some balls, son. He just asked this cop that. It's like, yeah, when can I go to the middle school? I want to hang out there. I swear that's exactly how he said it. And she's trying to be nice, play it off. Sir, you gotta wait until 4 o'clock when school is closed, and then you can go there. Yeah. And he's like, totally oblivious. It's totally no. He's like, okay, thank you, officer. I appreciate that information. He rides off on his bike. Holy shit. Man, some people are something else. Seriously, I still to this day can't believe that he actually asked a cop that. Wow. Wow. Yeah, so that was the story of my great neighborhood rapist. Yeah. What a guy. What a fucking guy.